Hi, this is JJ Smith, and welcome to this week's episode of the weekly Wow of Spirit Stories. This week, we had a little bit of a surprise. I had a Reiki session scheduled with a gentleman that I will call Frank. And Frank comes over. I've known Frank for a while, but just as an acquaintance, I didn't really know anything about him or his family's history. And so he came over for a Reiki session, and I'm doing the Reiki on him, and I'm getting so much information, just a ton of family information. And I'm debating with myself, like, do I say anything? Do I not say anything, when we're finished? Because when you do a Reiki session, we sit down and kind of talk about what your intentions are ahead of time. And then you're on the Reiki table for about 25 minutes or so. And then afterwards, we sit back down and do a regroup about what the client experienced and then what I picked up on. And because I'm a medium, I end up getting a lot more information than just a typical Reiki practitioner might. So when I sit back down with Frank, we're visiting, and I said, so I've got to ask you, I was picking up on a lot of information when you were on the table. Are you interested in having me share that with you, or would you rather me just keep that to myself? And he said, no, I'm very interested. And I always ask for people's permission, because to me, it feels a little impolite to spring information from spirit onto people without asking their permission. So he said, nope, give it to me. So I said, when I had you on the table and I was working your solar plexus, I really felt like your dad was a very violent man. And he said, yeah, that's right. And I said, he was abusive. I said, you have a brother? And Frank said, yeah. And I said, I feel like he was really abusive to you and your brother growing up pretty much your whole life. And Frank said, yeah, like I actually left home when I was 16 because it was so bad. And Frank now is probably 75 or I don't know, maybe 70 or 75, somewhere in there. And so that's a part of his life that I never knew about, obviously, right? He was a kid back then. And so we kept talking about it. And I said, your mom, I feel was tried to be the protector in that situation with your dad. And he said, yeah. And so we continued to visit about it. And as we talked further, I got this just overwhelming feeling that he needed to call his brother. And he said, oh, I've been trying to get a hold of my brother for like 3 months and I can't find him, or he moves from place to place so much, because Frank is a recovered alcoholic, but his brother is still an active alcoholic. And he said, I haven't been able to find him, or I think he's staying with this friend, but we kind of had a falling out, so we're not really talking. And I said, I am being given this overwhelming feeling that you need to reach out to him, because I think he is at a crossroads right now where he is struggling so bad that he might be thinking about taking his own life. And that really, kind of woke Frank up and said, okay, I will call him as soon as I leave. And so Frank got a hold of me the next day and said, hey, I've got to tell you, I finally got a hold of my brother last night, and we talked for like 2 hours on the phone because his brother lives in a different city. And he said, I am so thankful that you gave me the push I needed to try to keep making an effort with my brother, because he totally broke down and said he needed some help. And he's the person he's living with is going to help him get checked into into a recovery program. And so that was intense and so gratifying, both for myself and for Frank, because he came in thinking he was getting a Reiki session, which is energetic work, and all of a sudden he's getting all kinds of information in order to be able to help his family. And he actually told me that he talked to his brother about the information we had shared as a result of me being a medium, right? Like how the dad was and some of the stuff that went on when they were young, and that it completely resonated with his brother. Like he said, I swear, I think that was the piece of the conversation that made him decide to pull the trigger to get some help, because you knew all this stuff about my brother that you would know nothing about because you've never met him, but it was all information that was being given to you by spirit. So it was really heartwarming and very rewarding. And Yeah, thank goodness Frank came in. So that is this week's episode of the weekly Wow of Spirit Stories. Thanks for joining me. And if you would like to watch some of the past episodes, you can find those over on my webpage, which is jjsmithmedium.com. And if you'd like to schedule an appointment, you can do that there too. Don't forget to like the Facebook page. Thanks a bunch. Bye.